Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new video. Today we are going to rip a long backtesting session just for you boys to see how I go about this model and backtesting. How do you backtest correctly, okay? We'll see how long we do actually a backtest, but let's just get straight into the stop. Okay, so here, let me just move this a bit here. So here I have prepared basically a September. We're going to start from there, decided randomly. We are going to be doing EU 2025 September, and obviously starting from the first day. And basically we are going to rip this and see how long we go. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so here we have that. First thing, obviously, let's mark out these sessions. Okay, let's start with that. Boom. 4-hour time frame. Where is the most break structure? Boom, right here to the upside. We are going to be bullish, meaning we need Asia low to be swept, which is here. So we are waiting for that to be swept. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happens. And I'm gonna do a New York session as well here in this backtesting. So we have now reached into the new session. 4-hour time frame is still bullish, meaning we need now London low to be swept. London low is at this moment here. So let's see, we get a sweep of London low right there. Now we need the first bullish candle, which happens here. Boom, fib tool from high previous session to low of this session. We have a manual fake out here, which gets completed with this next candle. Boom. Now break of structure to the upside. We need, let's wait, fractal, most recent one there. Let's see if we get the break structure here. And we have to keep in mind as well that the bias has to remain the same, which it is. Our latest time fill is 1845. Boom. Boom. That's break right here. Okay, now let's see if we can get a fill before new session. Okay, not new session, the end of the latest time fill. Okay, so in this case, we did not get it. Let's get into the next day. Okay, so let's just mark out everything as we go. Boom. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we have a new day here. Bias is going to be bearish this time. Okay, so we have fractal here, price closed below that, so we are bearish. Our bias is going to be bearish, which means Asia high right here. Boom, mark it out. Wait for that to get swept. Let's see. Price is dipping down. New session is here, which means Asia low is no longer, sorry, Asia high. Now we need London high, which is right here. Looks pretty far away. Let's see what happens. Possibly another no trade day, especially because 1845 is close. Yeah, exactly. On to the next one. Boom. Okay, now we are in a new day. 4-hour time frame, but still bearish right here. 5-minute time frame, waiting for Asia high in this case because we are bearish on that time frame. So let's see if we can sweep that. Boom. Okay, swept. First bearish candle, fake out. Now we need a break structure. We have plenty of time for that. So let's see if we are going to go get it. Okay, here's a break structure on a fractal, most recent one. So that's the break structure. Fib tool, have the session to the low that broke structure right here. Let's see if we can get a retrace back to our levels. We have to pay attention to the latest time fill for London, which is 12:30 right here. We do not get filled, so now we have the potential of getting a New York crossover. We can't enter here anymore, so this would not be an entry since we are in the latest time fill for this session. But let's see if we can get a New York crossover. Okay, let's see what this candle does. Boom, nothing. 15-minute time frame. Let's see what the next candle after one does. If it extends, that's going to be a New York crossover. It did not extend, so we don't have a cross right here, which means if the bias is the same, which it is, we are going to be looking for London highs. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark that out and wait to see if that gets hit. Okay, boom, hit. First bearish candle, fake out. We are waiting for a break structure to the downside. Okay, that's it. Have the session to the low that broke structure. The break structure is here, most recent fractal. Okay. Now let's see if we can get a retrace before 1845. Okay, let's see. Okay, we did get a fill. Boom. Stop loss 2, 3R as always. And let's see. Okay, first trade is the TP. So what we are gonna do, I'm actually gonna move myself like this so that we have access to this thing. So we're gonna copy image, and that means we're gonna go here. This is third. So third, we have a situation plus 3R in New York session, and we're just gonna put a picture here, and that's the first one. Okay, we can also make it, that's what I like to do, green, and the loss is gonna be red. Okay, next one. Let's go into the next one. Okay, now we are on the next day, 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the bias, most recent break structure. Nothing here to the downside. Okay, so we are still going to be bearish from that old bias, meaning we need Asia high right here. Boom. Let's wait and see. If that doesn't get hit, which it didn't, we have the new high right here, which is London high. So we are waiting for that. If that doesn't get hit, up until 1845, we are heading onto the new day. So one thing we have to consider here is this is only one pair. So we are not going to get like multiple, like 5 trades on a week or something like that, or every day a trade. Why? Because it's only one pair. So as you know, I trade these 4, and I trade only London. So I would get like maximum 2 trades a day out of 4 pairs. So in this case, we are trading only one pair. So obviously we're not going to have trades every day. Okay, let's continue on. So bias right here is going to be still bearish from here. And that means we are waiting for Asia high, which is there. Boom, that's a sweep. First bearish candle, fake out. We are waiting for a break of structure at this time. Most is a fractal, obviously. We are always keeping track where it is. Okay, boom, there's a break structure. So now let's see if we can get filled into this trade. High to the break structure low. 1230 is very close right here. So we cannot get filled past that. Okay, latest time fill has been met. So now we are waiting for a crossover. Okay, let's see that. Wait for 1 p.m. Boom, right there. This is the range we are working with. Next candle is important after 1 p.m. if it extends the range. In this case, it goes above where our stop loss would be, or where the high of the Fibto is. So that means the trade is invalidated and no trade is going to be taken here. Okay, so let's go then. What's happening? 4-hour time frame. If it's still bearish, we have to check that. Okay, so the bias changed right here to bullish. So now we are not waiting for Asia high, London high. We are waiting for London low, which is right here. So bias changed. We pay attention to that as well. No trades, looks like here. We hop into the new day. Okay, now we are a new day. 4-hour time frame. Bias bullish from here. 5-minute time frame. We are waiting for Asia low since bias is bullish. If you don't know, boys, so the strategy basically is midnight Asia open, London 8 a.m. open, and 1 p.m. New York open. And we are basically playing the classic TMB model. Also considering the 50-minute model and the New York crossover. Let's see what results we get in this backtesting. Okay, so here we are waiting for Asia low to be swept. So let's wait for that. If it doesn't sweep, then it's gonna be London low, which is right here. Okay, so pay attention to that. No, nothing again. So we are hopping into the new day. Okay, so this strategy is basically 4-hour time frame. Wherever it breaks up or down on a fractal on the 4-hour time frame, that's going to be our bias. And then regarding to that bias, we are waiting for previous session liquidity sweep, and then fake out, break structure, entry on the Fibto. And yeah, so let's see. Okay, so 4-hour time frame here is going to be boom, bullish right here. 5-minute time frame, waiting for Asia low. Asia low is right here. So let's see if we can get a trade here. Okay, swept, first bullish candle, fake out. Now we are waiting for the break structure to the upside. We got that as well. Okay, so this is the Asia low sweep. Fake out, break structure is right here. So now we can set the Fibto from low of the session to, it will be this high, then it extended, so this high. We are waiting for a retrace. Okay. Okay, we do get a retrace into our levels, so we would be filled into the trade here. Stop loss would go here as always, and target would always be 3R. Let's see how this played out. Okay, this would be a loss, so we're gonna still continue before we journal it into the Notion. Why? Because we are also gonna trade New York session while backtesting, so we are still bullish, and we have swept a London low. So London low would be here. We have swept it, first bullish candle fake out. We are waiting for a break structure in this case, which we do get right here. So looks like we'll be getting 2 trades today out of EU. Fib tool, low of the session to the high broke structure. Let's see if we can get a retrace. Okay, so this is obviously news and we're gonna go double check that. So this is, okay, let's go here. Last year, oh. So 9th, apply, let's see. So 15 a.m. we have this, whatever this is, to be honest. This would not be banned, so we'll be getting into this trade. I think so. Yeah. So it's a Tuesday, yeah, 15. So this will not be banned. Okay, so we will be getting into this trade right here. Stop loss is gonna go here, and 3R would be take profit. In this case, we hit it perfectly, basically. So this candle hits in one candle, the TP. So for this particular day, I'm just gonna note that this was not banned news. This is my first time ever seeing these news, by the way, but I'm pretty sure they are not banned. So that's gonna be a copy, and let's fill this out. Okay, so this date is 9th. So boom. We have +2R situation, London and New York, meaning we lost 1 trade in London and won the other trade in New York. So let's put that screenshot there, boom, into the new day. Okay, we're gonna erase everything to have a fresh start and mark out new times. Okay, we are now here. 4-hour time frame, where's the bias? Let's look at it. Waiting for the fractals, boom, here. Break structure to the downside, 5-minute time frame. Asia high needs to be marked out right here. Let's wait for that to get hit. If it does. If not, if the bias is still the same, we're going to be looking for London highs. Let's see, bias still the same. We are marking out London highs, which are here, waiting for that to be swept. Okay, now first bearish candle, price retraces back up and fakes out. So now we need a break structure to the downside, which we did get right here. And then we had half the session to the low that gave the break structure, and we would take a loss here. Okay, boom. So that's it for today, a loss. And let's take a screenshot of this. Oops, screenshot. This is going to be 10th. So let's just fill that out real fast. It's going to be New York session. Put that here. Right, okay, first loss of the session. Let's get into next one. Okay, 4-hour time frame. Bias is still going to be bearish from here. 5-minute time frame. Asia low, sorry, Asia high, just here. We are waiting for that to get swept. Okay, nothing. Then London high, right here. Okay. Here, we obviously swept the London high, first bearish candle, price retrace back up and faked out. So we are waiting for a break structure on the most recent fractal, which we did get right here. And then Fib tool have the session to the low that broke structure. This would be a fill into the trade. Boom. Stop loss about the high as always, 3R, and let the trade play out. Okay, this would be another loss. Let's note that down. Okay, so this was 11th. Also going to be in New York. Put that loss there. Just put this in red. Boom. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now we are in a new day. Bias is going to be, in this case, let's look at it, bullish from here, 5-minute time frame. We are going to, okay, one thing I forgot right now, which might be the case, so let's revert this a little bit. We need to check bias here, okay? So we swept the high here, and we are about to get a trade, but we need to see when it comes to bias and stuff. If the bias has changed before we get in the trade, then we are completely invalidating this trade, and this is my mistake for not checking. But if it didn't change yet, then we are going to be taking this trade, and if it changes during the trade, that's still fine. So in this case, this candle is still going to be forming, so we would still be bearish, but the next one is opening at 18. So 18 is right here. So obviously, yeah, we would be in the trade and we would have taken this loss. And then later the bias did change. but doesn't matter because we are already in a trade, so that doesn't matter. So let's get into the new day. Okay, as we said, we are going to be bullish, meaning Asia low needs to be swept. If it doesn't get swept, it did here. First bullish candle fake out, also a break structure right here. So this would be already, you would be already in a trade. Boom. Limits as always here, stop loss always here, and take profit at 3R. And let's see how this one plays out. So obviously, once you're in the trade, you just let it play out. And this one is a take profit. Okay, so let's get into the new session. New session here is going to be, but still going to be the same, I believe. Yes. So we'll be waiting for a London low, which is here. Does end up being swept, first bullish candle. If I didn't mention it, the fake out will be from last session high to that low after the first bullish candle. And basically this will be the fake out zone. This 0.079 level right here. So once price retraces back into that, we are game on. Boom, retrace back here. Then we will be waiting for a most recent break structure on a fractal right here. And we have FIB tool, love the session to that high. Now we are basically waiting for price to retrace back to our levels to enter. If it extends, we extend as well. Let's see. Okay, we are filled into the trade right here. Stop loss will be here. Take profit is 3R as always. Let the trade play out. Okay, looks like this will be a double win. Okay, we have to consider one thing. This is Friday. Latest close for Fridays at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. is right here. So we have to close on this candle, which would result you with 2.6R. So we get 2.6R. Boom, Friday, 8 p.m. close. Copy image. Let's mark that out. So this is 12th. We are getting, so here we get 3R plus 2.6. Just gonna make sure. 2.62. So that's 5.62 day, 5 plus 5.62R, and put the pictures. This is green. Let's go to the next one. Okay, 4 hour time frame. Let's see the bias. Bullish right here. 5 minute time frame. That means we are going to be waiting for Asia low, which is right here. Let's see what happens. If it doesn't sweep, it's going to be a London low, which is right here. So let's take a look at that. Looks pretty far away. So low chances of us getting a trade here. No trade. Let's go into the new one. Midnight, 8 a.m., 1. Let's wait. Okay, 4 hour time frame. Still going to be bullish right here. 5 minute time frame. Waiting for Asia low to be swept. Nothing. Looks like nothing. Then London low, because the bias is still the same. Let's see if that gets hit. No trades again today because 1845 is close. Yeah, new day. Okay, let's see the bias. Bias going to be bullish right here. 5 minute time frame. We swept the Asia low, which was, let's see which one of these is the lowest. This one. So here we swept Asia low right at open of London. We are waiting for the first bullish candle. Right here, FIB tool, previous session high to current session low, fake out zone right here. After this candle, we need a tap back in down, which happens right here. Yes, did touch this line, which means the fake out has been completed. So now we need a break structure. Okay, break structure is right here. That's the break structure. FIB tool, love the session to that high that broke structure, waiting for a retrace in these levels. Since price has started coming back down, you set your limits. Boom, 3R is always right here. And then if we do get filled, which we do get filled right there, put the trade, and this is ATP. Okay, nice. Next one, let's see. London, this was a pretty fast trade. Nice one. Let's see. Okay. If the bias is still the same, we're going to be looking for London low. Bias is still the same. London low is right there. Let's see if we can get a trade out of that as well. Okay, looks like no trades. 1845 is here. Yeah, no trades. So let's journal this one. Take a screenshot. 17th. plus 3R London in this case. Boom, boom. Okay, next one. Okay, new days here for our time frame. Bias is still going to be bullish from this high right here. 5-minute time frame. That means we are waiting for Asia low right here. Let the market do its thing and see if we can sweep that. If not, we have London low right here when we reach into New York. New York is here. We did end up sweeping first bullish candle fake out. We are waiting for a break structure on the most recent fractal right here, which we also end up getting. Fib tool, low of the session to the high that broke structure. If it extends, we follow until it retraces back down into these points, which is our entry. Okay, still nothing. 1845 has already passed, so we are not gonna get a trade here. Let's get into the new day. Okay, new day is here. Same process all over again. Bullish right here from the old bias still. This video is going to be probably just this month of data because I can't be able to do more. I haven't been backtesting in a while, so I'm making myself backtest, forcing myself to backtest for this video. So the bias is still going to be bullish, and which means Asia low needs to be swept, which is right here, and we did that exactly here. So first bullish candle is what we are waiting on. It's here, a previous session high to current session low. This is the fake out zone right here. We're waiting for price to retrace back down into that, or give us a 15-minute break. So we can also do that. If it doesn't fake out, we have a potential 15-minute break. We are waiting for either one of those. It ends up faking, so now we don't need a 15-minute anymore, but we are going to wait for price to break structure on the most recent fractal, which is here. Boom. Low of the session to the current session, to the high that broke, low of the session to the current high that broke structure. If it extends, let's see if this was an extension. It wasn't. It's exactly the same. Then no, we don't extend the Fib tool. Price retraces back down into our entry. Stop loss here. Take profit 3R. Let the trade play out. Okay, this was a loss. And we ended up getting up a new session. Let's see if the bias is still the same. Let's check that. Okay, now bias is still going to be the same until this candle closes like this below this fractal. Then bias will change to bearish. But the next candle is at 14, so, or 2 p.m. So here, if we don't get a trade by then, we have to change the bias. If we are in a trade, we are letting the trade play out. So lows were swept. This was London low, swept, first bullish candle. We are waiting for a fake out, which we end up getting here, I'm pretty sure. Break structure as well. But now the next, the old candle was 4-hour time frame. It closed below this right here. So that means that this trade right here, we are not going to be waiting for a retrace and not entering here. Why? Because the bias has changed. So now, since bias is bearish, we are going to be waiting for London high to be swept. Okay, so London high is right here, and probably will not sweep until 1845, which it does not. So this is going to be the only trade for today. Screenshot and journal it. Okay. On to the next one. Okay, this is the new day. 4-hour time frame is going to be bearish from here, as we said, which means we need Asia high to be swept since we are bearish on the higher time frame, which is the 4-hour time frame. Boom, that's being swept. First bearish candle, price came back up. That's the fake out. Now we are waiting for a break structure on the most fractal to the downside, of course, because we're looking for sells. Still nothing. Okay, that's it here. Break structure. Now Fib tool, have the session to the low that broke structure. Have to pay attention for the latest time fill, 12:30. Okay, 12:30 passed, no trade. We are waiting for a New York crossover. Okay, did this hit the level of stop loss? Yes, it did. So this would be invalidated as a trade, no crossover. So 4-hour time frame is still bearish. We are going to be looking for London high, which got swept right there. First bearish candle as well was there. Let's see if this actually faked out. So previous session low to current session high. This candle ended up faking out. So now we are waiting for a break structure to the downside. Okay, that happened right here. Session high to low that broke the structure. Wait for a retrace back to the entry zones. Extend if it extends. Boom. And all the way until 1845, which is here. So let's see if okay, we did get filled right here and we got stopped out right here. So this is a loss in New York session. Let's mark that out as well. Boom. New York session. Okay. The next one. Okay, new session for our time frame. Bias is going to be bearish still from here. No fractals here for price to change bias. Okay. Since it's bearish, that means Asia high, which is here. Let's see if it sweeps it or no. Okay, no sweep. So if the bias is still the same, which it is, we are going to be looking for London high here, London high. Let's wait for that. No sweeps at all. So we are going to go into a new day. This was a sweep, but later. So 1845 is here, no trade. Nice. Okay, new day. Okay, London open is right here for our time frame. Let's check the bias. The bias is still going to be bearish with the same close from here. So 5-minute time frame, we are waiting for Asia high, which is pretty far away right here. Let's see if we can take that out or no. Okay, price is dipping down. We are approaching a new session. So let's see the bias. Bias is still going to be bearish right here. 5-minute time frame, waiting for a London high to be swept, which is right here. Let's see. 1845 is here. If it doesn't sweep by then, no trades. Yeah, nothing. Okay, new day, new day, new day. Okay, again, London open for our time frame. Bias bearish still, meaning we need Asia high, which is right here. Mark that out. Wait for that to get swept. No sweep. Okay, dead sweep right here. First bearish candle right there. Fib tool. Fake out zone is right here. Let's see if we can get that fake out. No fake out. Let's see if we got a 15-minute break. Okay, no 15-minute break. Okay, we actually did. 15-minute break right here, which means we don't need a fake out anymore. We have this range as it is, right, like this. And now, obviously, past latest time fill, so now we can only get a New York cross. So let's wait for that. This candle does not extend this low. 15-minute time frame. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so this candle is still one. So this will be the range. Then if this candle extends, which it did, it extended right here, which means we have a valid New York crossover. So now we are waiting for price to retrace back to these levels for us to find a trade. So this is not replaying for some reason. Let's restart that. Okay, this was a huge gap, probably some news to the downside. So we're gonna follow that and see if we get filled. Large trade it is. Okay, 1845 has passed, no trade from here. Let's get into the new day. For our time frame, bias is going to be bearish right here. 5-minute time frame, waiting for Asia high to be swept because we are bearish. Asia high is right here. Let's wait for that to get hit. If it does, okay, boom, swept here. First bearish candle as well. Low of the session to that high, and we have a fake out zone right here. So we're waiting for that to get tapped. Let's see. Okay, we didn't get a fake out, but let's see if we have a 15-minute break, which we do right here. So we don't need a fake out anymore. 5-minute time frame. We are waiting for, let's mark this out so it looks good. Okay, so we have a 15-minute break, so the range would look like this, and we are past latest fill time. So again, we are waiting for a New York crossover. This is one. Let's see what this candle does. Nothing. 15-minute time frame. Let's see what the candle after 1 p.m. does. Does it extend? No. So no crossover, which means if the bias is still the same, which it is, we are waiting for London high. which is right here. Okay, it does get swept, does present the first bearish candle, previous session low to current session high. This was the first, okay, this is already faked out. Why? First bearish candle is right here. Then you set up the zone. The zone is going to look like this. Okay, oh, my bad. So zone is obviously from this level to this, and all it needs to do is just step back into that after this first bearish candle. Okay, so let's see, boom. Did this step. Okay, this clearly did enter the fake out zone. So this is already a fake out. Okay, so now we would be waiting for a break structure to the downside, and I believe we did get it here. Let's zoom in. Yeah, it obviously did close below. So from that point on, once this candle closed below like this, fib tool from the high of the session to that low, let's see, a little bit of extension, and then price retrace back into our entries and stop us out. That is a loss in New York session, so let's journal that out as well. It's 26th. Okay, next one, let's go. Okay, new session right here. For a time frame, bias is going to be bearish from here, so that means we need Asia high to be swept, which is right here. Let's see if that gets swept. Okay, it does. Okay, it didn't really sweep it. Yeah, didn't really sweep that, so we are going to be waiting still. Okay, no sweep. We entered New York session. So in New York session, if the bias is still the same, which it is, we are going to be looking for London high to get swept, which is here. So exactly at 1 p.m., which is the open of New York, London high gets swept. First bearish candle is also presented. So previous session low to current session high. And we have a fake out zone right here. Boom. Let's see if price can go back up and hit that fake out. Okay, it did. So now we have a fake out. We are waiting for the most recent fractal, and we need a break below that. Okay, right here, this would be the break structure. Half the session to that low that broke structure. If it extends, you follow until it goes back up to your entry zone or 1845. Okay, obviously past 1845, so no trade from here. Let's get into the new day. Okay, new day for our time frame. Let's see the bias. Bias is still going to be bearish. Okay, so 5-minute time frame, waiting for Asia high to be swept right here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we end up sweeping that. First bearish candle was presented as well. So previous session low to current session high. We have a manual fake out here. This candle is within these, so we have a manual fake out needed for this candle right here. Price did not yet fake. Now it did. Okay. Now we're waiting for a 5-minute break to the downside on the most recent fractal. We did. Okay, now we got a break structure for sure. Right here. So high of the session to that low. Let's see if we can get a trade. Price extended a little bit. We are waiting still. Extended. Okay, past latest time fill. So now we have to wait and see if we can get a New York cross. It's 1 p.m. This candle did not extend. 15-minute time frame. Let's see if this candle extends. It did not extend. So no New York crossover, meaning if the bias is still the same, which it isn't. Okay, it changed right here to the upside. So we will be waiting for London low, which is here. Let's see. Sweep. Let's see. Okay, so let's see, lock in on this. Okay, so this was a sweep. This is also the first bullish candle. So fake out would go from the high previous session to that low. This is the line that needs to be touched, which it did here. So fake out is completed. Breakthrough structure now is what we need. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, we end up getting it right here. Low of the session, the high. That broke structure. Wait for retrace. If it extends, you extend. coming back down, good to set entries, stop loss at the low, 3R STP, and we are fielding the trade. Let the trade play out. Let's see what happens. Okay, in this case we are leaving the trade until it plays out, nothing we need to be worried about. We go into the new day, and basically this will be the end. This is going to be the last trade that we do for this backtesting session because we are in a new month. So let's see how this trade plays out, and then after that this video is going to be done. Let's see, let's let it play out. A longer trade, but it is what it is. Boom, 3R TP, screenshot that bitch. This is going to be a New York trade on 30th, the last day of September. Plus 3R from New York session. Okay, now let's see the results of this month. Okay, let's see how many wins we have. One win, second win. These are 2 wins, so it's 4, 5, 6 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there was this loss. So that's 6 losses. That brings us to 50% win rate with 1, 2, 3, which is okay. Let's see the results. That brings us to 11 plus 11.62 R, which ends up being a green month, as you know. So for this particular thing, we have a green September. So just gonna mark this out like this, and yeah, also gonna do this. Boom. Now we have a September that is plus 11.62R with 1 pair only. And yeah, this is it. This is the model that I use on a daily basis. And this is how I am profitable in the markets. And obviously you've seen why I'm profitable. You've seen how the model performs over the month that we just backtested. And yeah, this is it, boys. Thank you for tuning in for this video and for watching me sit here and make myself backtest this model. When I did not want to, but for you boys. And yeah, that is it. We did 1 month. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. So yeah, thank you boys for tuning in, and see you in the next episode.